The dust has finally settled. It's been a little over 3 weeks since the Chosen One chose the Philadelphia 76ers, the city of brotherly love, home of the Rocky statue. What a time to be alive.
How can you live with yourself? Ungrateful.
Could I have made this video the day the news broke? Absolutely. From a YouTube standpoint, that probably would have been the smarter move. The story was fresh, emotions were high, and everybody was rushing to get their takes out first.
If Joel Embiid is 50%, I mean, if he can give you anything during the playoffs, the Philadelphia 76ers could win the championship.
Matter of fact, this puts Philly right there up with the New York Knicks, right? They're going to be looking eye to eye with them.
I think this is, we already said the best 4-player team, like stars. We already said it was
Golden State.
Golden State. Sure. That was the best 4 we'll ever see.
Come on, man. Wardell, Clay, KD, and Draymond in their primes for sure.
So
Hell on wheels.
No.
Oh, you got the Sixers over there?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I've never been a fan of reacting in the moment. What you think in real time isn't always what you think after you've had time to process everything. Sometimes the initial reaction is right. Other times, once the emotions wear off and you actually examine the details, your perspective changes. When LeBron first signed with Philadelphia, my immediate reaction was simple. This is a weak move. But it wasn't that big of a deal to me because, you know, he's 41.
I'm 41 years old. Of course, there's always every back-to-back for the rest of the season is TBD. I am 41. I got the most minutes in NBA history.
You don't look like you're 41 on the court.
But I am. Look at my birth certificate, December 30th, 1984, 4:39 p.m. That's when I was born.
Then I spent the next few weeks thinking about it. I looked at the team he left. I looked at the team he joined. I looked at the contract. I looked at the media coverage. I compared it to some of the most criticized superstar decisions in NBA history. And the more I thought about it, I came to the conclusion that I don't think this was just a weak move. I think there's a legitimate argument that this was worse than Kevin Durant joining the Golden State Warriors.
Hear me out.
I already know what people are going to say. You're a hater. You're obsessed with LeBron. This is clickbait. This is just another anti-LeBron video. Alright, now that we've gotten that out the way, let me explain why I genuinely believe this is even weaker than KD going to the Warriors. Not because LeBron left, not because he changed teams, but because of where he left, where he went, and his past. A lot of people spent years telling us Kevin Durant joining Golden State was the weakest move ever made by a superstar.
Well, I'm viewing it as the weakest move I've ever seen from a superstar. Plain and simple. That's just how I look at it.
Fine, you can have that opinion. But if we're going to judge KD by one standard, then we have to judge LeBron by that same standard. The first thing that gets lost in this discussion is what LeBron walked away from. This isn't 2010. This isn't Cleveland with Mo Williams. This isn't a roster that had clearly hit its ceiling. He's leaving the most popular and sought-out destination in the NBA. He left a great situation, contrary to popular belief, to go to an easier situation. He was in a basketball haven, a basketball paradise. Anybody in their right mind would never consider the Lakers a bad basketball situation for a superstar. He's in Hollywood. He and his family have a nice home in LA, a place where he can play basketball with his son, which is already unprecedented in itself. You all sat here and praised how amazing it was that LeBron was playing with his son on the basketball court. He left him in LA. He's leaving a team that has Luka Doncic, a player many people consider a top 5 player in basketball, a player entering his prime, a player who just helped carry teams deep into the playoffs. Remember, he took a weak Dallas team to the finals, and LeBron barely gave it a chance. They had one playoff run together. One postseason. That's it. For years, we've heard LeBron fans justify why LeBron left previous situations. And I actually understood those decisions, even though I thought they were weak. But that doesn't apply here. What exactly was so broken in LA that it couldn't be fixed? Then we get to the destination. The context matters here. People will point out to Joel Embiid's injury history. That's fair. But let's not pretend that this wasn't an extremely talented roster that overachieved with Paul George and Kelly Oubre in the starting lineup. Now you're replacing George with a former Finals MVP in Jaylen Brown. And of course, LeBron is replacing Kelly Oubre. That's a huge upgrade. You got Tyrese Maxey an all-star caliber guard entering his prime. You've got young talent like Edgecombe developing. This wasn't some rebuilding project. This team was ready to win now, before LeBron even joined. This wasn't LeBron trying to save a franchise. This is a potential championship contender. And the move becomes even more ridiculous when you consider the contract. LeBron isn't some role player chasing a ring. He's still viewed as a max level talent. He just led the Lakers to the second round with Luka on the shelf.
Second body, Hachimura slaps it over to Kennard. Lakers are down by 3 for the tie. It's good. LeBron James is money.
Yet he takes the vet men to join a team that already has significant talent.
You can't keep getting away with it.
Whether you think that's smart or weak, it's impossible to ignore. The fact that his best friend and mouthpiece claimed he wasn't ring chasing.
He's not chasing the ring. You hear these things like, why do we have to chase? He got 4. There's nothing to chase. He's not chasing the ghosts or anything like that. But
only for LeBron to make his decision in a series of tweets pointing out that he wants to win.
You see how this looks, right?
He already, in my view, made the weakest move in NBA history when he joined the Heat. He's a notorious repeat offender. And this is where the Kevin Durant comparison comes in. The reason KD got criticized wasn't just because he changed teams. It was because people felt he chose the path of least resistance. He joined a 73-win team. It was weak, the easiest road. So if that's the standard, why doesn't that apply here? You can't tell me stacking the deck is wrong when KD does it, and strategic when LeBron does it. Either we're applying the same rules to everyone or we're not. Consistency matters. And make no mistake about it, what KD did was a copycat of what LeBron did. Yeah, 73-9 once again, we know, Warriors made the finals, I get it. But KD was going to a place that gave him a clear path to a championship. The same thing LeBron did, no amount of word salad trying to explain why KD's move was weaker than LeBron's lessens what LeBron did. The other thing that I had a serious problem with was how public the entire process became. For weeks, every show, every podcast, every debate show was talking about LeBron's future, potential destinations, rumored meetings, insider reports, speculation. The story became bigger than basketball. And that's what makes it different from a lot of other superstars' moves. The decision wasn't just a decision, it became an event. Again, as if LeBron hasn't already done this before. Rich Paul was doing whiteboard presentations.
Philadelphia, everything changed.
Do they have his attention as Windhorst is reporting?
How could you not have the attention when you have Maxey, Edgecombe, Brown, Embiid?
They're missing, all they really need here is a power forward who can think the game and shoot.
He loves Maxey.
LeBron
Absolutely.
James is the one guy who might be able to unlock that and get that to be a team.
Yeah, he enhances everything there.
Yeah.
He unlocks everything there.
You see how this looks, right?
At the end of the day, this isn't about hating LeBron. It's about standards. If we're going to criticize Kevin Durant for joining great situations, then we have to be willing to evaluate LeBron by the same criteria. We have to question why a player would leave a team built around Luka Doncic after barely giving the partnership a chance. We also have to ask why, and this is probably my biggest criticism of the entire thing. Why was LeBron willing to leave Bronny in Los Angeles? Now, Bronny is an adult, and you could argue that LeBron is doing the right thing by allowing him to establish his own career and identity. That's a fair point. The problem is that argument would have carried more weight if Bronny had been allowed to enter the league organically and find his own path from the beginning. Instead, a significant part of public perception was that LeBron played a major role in getting Bronny to the Lakers. After all that, it's fair to question why creating that situation was so important if he was ultimately willing to leave it behind so quickly.
You think I want this? It just happened!
If we're going to talk about LeBron's legacy, we can't ignore the context surrounding how the championships were pursued. The question isn't whether LeBron can still help a contender win. The question is whether we'd be having this same conversation if another superstar made the exact same moves. Considering KD is still being judged for a decision he made a decade ago, while LeBron has changed teams twice since then, I think the answer is probably no. You can certainly point to LeBron being 41 as a legitimate factor, but that argument loses some of its weight when you consider that he's still performing at an elite level and just led a team with a banged up Austin Reeves and no Luka Doncic past the Rockets. Being 41 is just a pre-made excuse in case he loses. LeBron is still a max-level player, joining an already talented roster that just defeated a second-seeded team and advanced to the second round, with less talent than it has now. That context matters. When you combine the roster he is joining with his current level of play, his history of changing teams, and the expectations that naturally accompany a move like this, I think there's a strong argument that LeBron's decision is actually more difficult to defend than KD's was. KD was playing in a small market with no championships to show for it, and saw a relatively direct path to winning at the highest level. It was a weak move, particularly because the Warriors just reached the finals, but the motivation behind it was at least understandable. LeBron's situation is fundamentally different. His legacy is already secure, and he is widely regarded, at worst, the second greatest player in NBA history. So what exactly is the justification for a player of his caliber, still capable of commanding a maximum contract, leaving a player like Luka, who is more than capable of leading a team to the finals, only to accept the vet men on an already stacked roster? That's what makes this move so difficult to defend. It isn't simply a case of a superstar chasing a championship. Given LeBron's stature, the talent he left behind, the strength of the roster he's joining, and the financial sacrifice involved, the decision can reasonably be viewed as both weak and desperate. And when you consider how aggressively LeBron's career has been managed around legacy and winning, it becomes difficult to separate the move from an almost singular desire to maximize his chances of adding another championship to his resume. And that's all I have for today. And remember, we're all going to die at some point.